Hi everyone, so here's the next video of the color highlight series. I'll be going over M Graham's Ultramarine Pink for this video. This is made with PV15, like QoR's and Daniel Smith's Ultramarine Red, but there are versions of Ultramarine Pink that use PR259 instead. And this pigment is made by heating ultramarine blue and treating it with hydrogen chloride. So from the swatch that I'm making of Ultramarine Pink, it looks like a pinkish purple magenta color, kind of like quinacridone violet, quinacridone magenta, and Cobalt Violet light, but it is not as bright as those other pigments. And like the Cobalt Violet light, it does granulate a lot. So if you're interested in like magenta hues with granulation, Ultramarine Pink is an alternative that you can use. So now I'll swatch the Cobalt Violet that I have and compare it to the Ultramarine Pink. And I chose this color because it is also another pinkish purple magenta color, and it is heavily granulating. So here are the two pigments side by side. We can see that the Cobalt Violet is brighter than the Ultramarine Pink. So if you want a magenta-ish color that is granulating but a little muted, the Ultramarine Pink would be a good option. Like with pigments in my other videos, I'd like to do a quick little dispersion test to see how Ultramarine Pink reacts with water. So from the dispersion test that I did, the color didn't really go far, but that's probably because it's a low tinting color and it's normally hard to re-wet. So now I'll go into the mixing portion where I'll be using lemon yellow, cadmium red light hue, potter's pink, French ultramarine, cobalt teal, and phthalo green yellow shade to mix with the ultramarine pink. So the first color I'll be mixing with is lemon yellow, or more commonly known as Hansa yellow light. So when we mix ultramarine pink with lemon yellow, we get these soft, dull colors, but I would still say they're bright enough to read off as red and orange. And I really like the second mixture because it's a soft, dull salmon pink, and it kind of reminds me of the potter's pink color. So the next color I'll be mixing with is Cadmium Red Light Hue, and this is a non-toxic alternative to the traditional cadmium reds. Since I probably added too much cadmium red light hue, the first mixture looks like a slightly softened vermilion color, but as we add more ultramarine violet, we get these nice burgundy and maroon tones. So the next color I'll be using is Potter's Pink, and this is one of my favorite colors that you can get straight out of the tube. So when we mix these two colors together, we get these soft, dull, granulating magenta colors, which I think are really pretty. So the next color I'll be using is French Ultramarine, which is the pigment that is used to create the Ultramarine Pink pigment. So when we mix these two colors together, we get these decently bright, granulating purple colors. So the next color I'll be mixing Ultramarine Pink with is Cobalt Teal, and the one I'm using from M Graham is PB28, even though most brands tend to use PG50 instead. So while the purple colors are less bright compared to the ones made with French Ultramarine, they are still pretty bright, and I do like the soft granulating nature of these purple mixtures. So the last color I'll be using is Phthalo Green Yellow Shade, and this was the first color that I made a color highlight video for. So when we mix these two colors together, the purples are duller, and they're not as granulating as Phthalo Green Yellow Shade isn't granulating. And these duller mixes come from the fact that these two colors are farther away from the color wheel compared to French Ultramarine and Cobalt Teal. So I'd like to show you the mixes and then the swatch one more time. Overall, we see these soft, dull, granulating colors. And these can be very useful for people who like granulation and they like having softer mixes. And I think this color is a really pretty magenta issue, but I don't know if I'd use it often because I don't use purple colors too much. But I hope you found this video helpful, and for the next video, I'll be swatching some of the Daniel Smith dot card.